So this week, what we are going to be focusing on are words that are going to have the long A sound. When we hear the long A sound, what is it? Thank you. When we hear the long A sound, what is it?
A.
A. It's when that letter is saying its name. And today we're going to focus on different ways we get that long A sound. So we have 18 words plus 2 challenge, 1 content. Remember, content words being words that come from our reading. All of our 18 words are going to have that long A sound in it. Well, what we're going to do today is start to identify those pieces that make the A sound. The A, the very, very, very first basic thing we learn with the long A sound is when we have that a consonant, and then an E at the end. And that E reaches over to make the A say its name. Do you guys remember that? That's very basic for the very first thing we learn to get that long A sound. But there's other ways as well. And today we are going to look at that just as you have the past few times. What our goal is to start to be able to identify, oh, words that have this in common to get the long A sound. Words that have this in common to get the long A sound. So we're going to go through our list today and we're going to circle what gave us the long A sound. And we're going to talk about those words' meanings. Sound good? So I'm going to start at number 1. Number 1 says subway, the word subway. Now, this is not a capital letter, so this is not the name of a restaurant today. This is a subway. Do you guys know what a subway is?
Yes.
A subway is going to be where it's a transportation area, but it's underground. Sub means under. Remember how we've talked about prefixes and suffixes? Sub is a prefix that can go on things, which means under. Kind of neat, right? So if you know sub, it means under. So this is going to be a passageway that's underground, a subway. Subway. Where are you hearing the long A sound in subway? Viola. In way, at the very end. What's making that long A sound? Cooper. The A and the Y. Very good. Go ahead and circle that A and the Y. So you know when you're looking at it, that AY is making the long A sound in subway. Our next word is the word daydreams. Daydreams. Where do we hear the long A sound in daydreams? Zena.
In the day.
In day. And what's making the long A sound in day? Everyone? AY. Go ahead and circle it. So far we have 2 words where that long A sound, the A sound, is coming from the AY. Now, if you can spell subway and you can spell daydream, you should also be able to spell way and day, right? That's because we're taking compound words. Those 2 are, and many more, are examples of compound words where we've got the smaller word with another word put together to make a whole new meaning. Number 3, our word is payment. You might need to give someone a payment in order to pay for something. Payment. Where do we hear the long A sound in payment? Writer. We see it in the word pay with the AY again. Make sure you circle it. Number 4, everybody point to it. Our word is daisies. What do you notice about the word daisies aside from the long A sound? Chloe?
It has
It's going to have, that's what makes the long A sound, is that AI in it. Very good. But what else do we notice about daisies? Haley?
It has IE.
Fabulous. It has that IE in it. Now, daisies is plural. It's more than one, right? In order to spell the word daisy, just one, it would end in a Y. What do we do if we want to make a word that ends in a Y be more than one? We drop the and add. Fabulous. We drop the Y and add IES. And Chloe already mentioned it for us. In the word daisies, what's making the long A sound? What's making the long A sound? Go ahead and circle it. Next up, we have the word awaited. I awaited my hero. It's just a fancy way of being like, I waited. Awaited. What's making the long A sound in awaited? Emery. After the W, what do we see? AI. Awaited. We have that AI again. Kind of nice how they're kind of already in order, right? Up next, our word is obtain. Do you guys know what the word obtain means? If you obtain something, you get it. So like I obtained a glass of milk from my son. I just got a glass of milk from him. Obtain. What makes our long A sound in obtain? AI. AI. Go ahead and circle it. We're just circling so that we can read it still. This is your practice sheet for home. Up next, our word is ball players. Again, it's a word that is plural. It means more than one, and it's a compound word. We have ball and players coming together to make
Ball players.
Ball players. Very good. And we see that in the word ball players, what's making the long A sound? Alexa? A-Y again. Very good. Number 8, our word is
Breaker.
breaker. Heartbreaker. You got the best of me. No, no one? It's cool. I'll play it for you guys later. Breaker. Our word breaker. If you are a breaker, maybe you're breaking something. Or another meaning for breaker is there's a box in your house that controls whether your lights are on and off, and it's called the breaker.
Oh, yes, the breaker box.
Yep, the circuit breaker or your breaker box. So mine always goes off on my washer, and it makes me so mad. So flip it and turn it back on again because the humidity is what they tell me. Breaker. What's making the long A sound in breaker? I don't know, Aiden. Kason, what do we see that makes it? EA. So we have a new one here. We've got that EA giving us the long A sound. Very good. This one is different because typically we know that when two vowels go walking, the first one would do the talking. Oftentimes with that EA combination, though, it is different where it's got that combination coming together to say the long A sound. So it is important to know the order of those ones. Our next word is one we are all very familiar with. It is the word.
Yesterday.
And what's making the long A sound in yesterday? A-Y. Just like in daydream and yesterday, they both have that A-Y saying A in it. It's because they're compound words. Well, yesterday is not. Yesterday is not a word. Next up, we have betray. Oh, sorry. Betrayer. So this is one. We've been talking a lot, guys, about parts of speech. If I cover up that, I'm going to wait till I have eyes and ears. If I cover up that ER, I have the word betray. If I betray someone, that's a verb. But if I add the ER on the end of it, I've turned it into a noun. A betrayer is going to be a person. But if I betray someone, that's an action. So remember how we've talked about the ER, IR endings? This is an example of one of when I put that ER ending on it, I've made it a person. I've turned it into a noun. The word betray means to like you're going against someone. If you betray someone, you've gone against them. Maybe you're really good friends with someone and you betray them by breaking their trust, right? A betrayer is someone who would be breaking that trust. Remember those IR, ER endings? I hope so. I have lots of people humming, singing, coloring on their pages. Is that our task right now?
No.
No, thank you. Betrayer. What's making the long A sound in betrayer? Grayson. A-Y. Fabulous. Again, a word most of you are familiar with. On number 11, our word is?
Crayon.
What's making the A sound on crayons? Everybody?
A-Y.
Beautiful. Number 12, point to it. Another compound word. We have two words coming together to make the own word. We have the word beefsteak. It's a steak made out of?
Beef.
Fabulous. Where do we hear the long A sound in beefsteak? Viola. What? In steak, yep. And what letters are making it? E-A. Fabulous. Everybody points to number 13. Read it for me.
Explain.
Ooh, what's making the long A sound? Please explain to me what makes the long A sound.
AI.
Number 14. I like this word. Number 14 says dainty. If something is dainty, it's very like elegant and poised, usually kind of small. Dainty. And what's making the long A sound on dainty? Emery. AI. Very good. Oftentimes we use dainty is going to be a descriptive word that we're using to describe something. Like Ryder's dogs are dainty. Apollo has one dainty dog.
And then two not
And two
dainty.
beastly.
Oh,
I don't know. I haven't seen them. It's little. It's going to be little. Next up, we have the word mermaid. What's making the long A sound in mermaid?
AI.
I knew that. Yes. Well, one of his dogs passed away. Next up, we have the word trainees. Trainees. Everybody cover up the ending on trainees, so you just have the word train. That is going to be a multiple meaning word. Train is going to be like the train that runs along the train tracks, right? Train also is going to be a verb that you're doing something. So you might train, you might like train lifting weights or train how to write your handwriting too. It's training. You're working on something, yep. By putting the EES on the end, it's also turning it into a person or people. A trainee is a person. Trainees are people. Okay? Or dogs. If your dog's in dog school, all those dogs are trainees. What's making the long A sound in trainees? Trainees. What is it? Nope. The EE. Pause. The EE at the end. What is that saying? No. I'm looking at Cooper. Please be respectful. What's the EE at the end saying? Yeah, so that's not making the A sound. That's what we were working on last week or the week before. Now we're on the long A sound. What's making the long A sound, everyone? AI. Very good. So different combinations there. Great. What makes the long A sound in great? Everyone? And last but not least, we have give away. It should be what?
Give away.
A-Y. We hear that give away at the end with the A-Y. Very good. Our challenge words this week are family and young. And our content word is straight. Notice the word straight has a long A in it. What makes the long A sound in straight? Everybody?
AI.
Very good. Looks like just circled there. AI. Very good. Third graders, you are going to be expected to sort these into 3 categories. So you might want to write them on your page for practicing at home. It is going to be A-Y, A-I, and E-A. Pretty simple, right? We feel good about those? You should. You guys are amazing.
Thank you. Yay.